This could be baby Faith. She looks pretty big now. These twins are so sweet. They're the sweetest. Oh, you got a strong tongue. You do not want that thing.
Look at it.
They're so cool. They're the sweetest animals ever. I could not have a cow because I'd fall in love with them. There's baby Faith over there. Right back there.
So that, look, she
Right
likes
back
getting
there.
her nose to pet.
Yeah. Look at all the bugs on them.
Do you, girl?
For all you people say, look at all the bugs on that cow. Oh, look at this. Okay, relax. There's barbed wire there. You do not want to get barbed wire in your tongue. In today's video, I'm going to show you some of those habits that I have created over time that are more self-sustaining for me to live on this property. Especially now that I'm so motivated with living a permaculture life on this property. Stay tuned because I got chickens coming up in the future and doing a lot of work out in the backyard trying to change this whole place into something more self-sustainable for me and my son. I have learned to see homestead sustainability in a new way because I see God's provision all around me now. I am grateful for the leaves that fall from my trees, and now I pick them up to use as free mulch for all my plants. Those small twigs are also helpful to keep the leaves weighted down and will provide nutrients to my plants as they break down back into the soil. When I make fruit smoothie in my Vitamix, I don't waste the juice left behind in the container. Add some water to the container and to my cup after I'm done, and I can save that as liquid fertilizer for my plants, and they love it. So, let's start with this, and I fill it with water. This, okay? Now I have water, so then what I'm going to do is take my hose and I'm just going to go into the sides of the container. All of that stuff that you see, all that stuff that's on the side, I'm just going to use the water in my hand to get in there and just kind of loosen it off. I'm going to do the same thing with my cup that I drank from. And I'm just going to put this here. And whatever was in the straw got clean. And now I'm going to do the same thing with my cup. Is I'm going to just go around the sides. And I'll put my hand inside and then just kind of loosen all of that up. And then that gets poured into the container. So now I'm going to show you what I do with this. I also have water bowls around the house for Muffin because she's getting old and it's hard for her to walk all the way back to the laundry room to get her water. So I have one here in the living room. And it's very simple for me because I just have to take this bowl and dump it here outside in my porch. This is water, but it's not as clean. There's some hair in it, saliva, you know. This way I can use it in the plants and I'm recycling the water. All right, out here on my porch, right before you get into the house, I have this big cat litter jug that I keep here. And it's already prepared for all the extra water that I have. And you can see I have a lot of good healthy stuff in there. So I already keep this in here. I've got the lid, which I keep here just in case there's smells that come out of the water. And what I do is I come out here on my porch and I have a tray also, so if the water doesn't get on the floor, but I just pour this in this jug every single day. Whatever water, if I have pasta water, I pour it in here. If I have smoothie water, I pour it in here. Water is in here from the dog bowls and from juices and all of that. And what I did was I opened a couple of holes here in this lid. And then what I do is I water my porch plants. All of my plants that are in my pots, they need to be fertilized and they need to be watered once or twice a week, depending on the heat. Those get this water. And this water, look how green my plants are because of this water. Under my sink, I have a container of coffee grounds. I have one of eggshells. And this is my banana tea. So whenever I use bananas, I put water in here and I make banana tea. These are just crushed eggshells that I have to crush a little bit fine. And then I also keep rainwater to rinse my hair with. The items under my sink, I use those to give to my plants. And I also soak my kitchen scraps to compost first in water, which I feed to my plants in liquid form. But first, I remove the scraps and put those into my dry compost after soaking for a few days. I pruned my hedge this week and I just leave the leaves there. Okay, I don't let them to the back anymore. Like this one, I pruned this hedge here, and you can see that it's still green, but some parts of it are starting to turn brown. So as you can see, I have built up a big thick mulch here, so I don't have to pull weeds anymore. So before, when I got here, I didn't learn about this, and I was actually taking all of this to the back, and it was a lot of work. Now I just let it sit here. I also reorganized my potting area because I spend a lot of time there now, and turning the shelf shields me from the morning sun. I put a vine down here so it'll grow eventually on the trellis, and this gives me privacy. That one gives me privacy as well. I put some cute little things from the Dollar Tree on it. I love it, love it, love it. So mostly back here in the afternoon. So here's where I have all my seedlings, my microgreens. Things are coming in. And then I can plant them in the garden. So comfortable now here. So comfortable. I can't tell you how great this is. Nothing blows away. I mean, of course, this is not going to sustain a hurricane. I'm going to have to, whenever there's a hurricane, I have to move all this stuff. I have recycled soil here from old pots. Brand new potting soil here. I have peat moss here. I have nothing in here, but I use this also as a seat. I could sit on here. Some leaves. Whenever I have seed leaves around the yard, I pick them up because I need them for mulch. And that's what it's looking like, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This is the space that I spend a lot of time in. And then over here, I'm usually just keeping like these kind of containers for the winter time so that they have covers, and I can just plant my seedlings in here and keep them warm. I'm just stocking up on those here for next year. I've been transplanting edible weeds to my chicken coop area in preparation for bringing in some chickens. I'm standing here on my property line, and I've been weed whacking right now. And I just want to tell you about this app that I did a video on a while back when I talked about homesteading. It's called Picture This, and I used it this weekend so that I can identify all of the weeds that are growing in my backyard that are edible. And you're going to want to do that now. You're going to want to take a picture of these, and you might want to mark them, or you might want to root some up and plant them somewhere in your garden, because these will continue to thrive. And if something happens in our society, you will be able to eat some of those weeds. Some of these weeds are very, very good for you. So I'm going to show you, this is the property that's beside me. I put this fence up a few years ago, and nobody's living on this property, and it's just living here. It's pretty much, it's not abandoned, it's owned. They just haven't built their house because the pricing is so bad. But they come and they mow the grass every once in a while. But there's lots of stuff that's growing here. There's actually a berry bush that I was looking at for the other day, because I know that I can get a cutting out of it. I want to show you that there's oregano, wild oregano growing here. It's right here, the wild oregano. And there's other things that grow here that are actually good. Those are the weeds that I'm going to eat if things get bad, or I'm going to substitute some of that while certain things grow, especially during the winter time. So you're going to want to go ahead and do that now, so that you know what is growing around you, maybe in the parks around you and things like that, so you can start identifying these things, and then you can go out and harvest them for yourself. I've been pruning a lot of my bushes and left the leaves to dry out for future mulch. It does take a couple of weeks before it becomes mulch, but I am very patient. So you saw me pruning a lot of the stuff that I had outside that I am going to allow to mulch. And then I have a mulberry tree that is so luscious this year with the greens. So I put this out in the sun while I was pruning, and they're drying. So I'm going to continue to try these, but I didn't want them to blow away in the wind. So this is what I'm doing with my Excalibur. I'm not going to put them in the Excalibur because it's a good sunny day, and I want to enjoy the sun to dehydrate these for me. So basically what I'm going to do is just put the leaves here. Try to open them up, because that is going to help dry them a little bit quicker. And what I'm going to use this for is for mulberry tea. Mulberry tea is very, very good for you. In order for this not to blow away, I'm going to take my other tray and I'm going to sandwich it. I set the tray in the sun, and it dries the leaves for me without electricity. And that way later I can just put them in a jar for tea. This is a durable. It's pretty old. I used to use this for carving wood. back when I used to do a lot of handmade stuff. I bought the little grinding, this one, the little, even though mine is in a Dremel, it fits the Dremel bits in there. And this is for grinding, and I have a whole bunch of these, and I'm going to go ahead and sharpen those. Good, nice. The house has gotten so dark. It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Look at the storm that we're getting. Oh my gosh. And then we had several days of rains and storms. This is how hard it rained this week. These are ridges in the land because that's how hard it moved the soil. Those are actual ridges. Now that'll get flattened out in the next few weeks, but that's how hard it rained. The rain was good for my gladiola bulbs. Hey, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.